G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the west side of the map, we have Beastie Cutie playing as the Mongols, and his opponent on the other side of the map, we've got Casper, who is playing as the Delhi Sultanate in the color red. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is game number one of set number one between Casper and Beastie Cutie. These two players have reached the final two of their set, I guess we could call it, of their bracket. The winner of this is going to Berlin, baby. That is it. Berlin with a capital B. There's no lower cases in here. I mean, except for like the Erlin part, like the B starts with the uppercase and then the rest of it lowercase. So that part, but the B, there's a capital B. Anyway, fellas, I've got good news. I've got great news. The good news is I've gone and I've had a quick power nap. The great news is my beautiful fiance has just brought me up a coffee and I'm going to take a lovely sip. Let me take a moment here. Oh. It's amazing. It is absolutely, that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. All right, let's talk a little bit about this game, what we've got going on for us today. So this is part of N4C. We've got Casper opening us up with a double scout opening, playing as the Delhi. Already going down for a barracks. This is big. So Casper thinking ahead. This is something that we have not seen before. So we are potentially seeing a brand new build order coming out today. So we've got the mill that's already gone down. Lumber camp on the way as well, so he is looking to play age 1. I'm thinking we're going to potentially see, look at this, ladies and gentlemen, we have got ourselves a double barracks opening from both players. And now it looks like we've got Beastie also going for a scout opening. Now keep in mind, he doesn't do a double scout opening, he just does a scout opening because he opens up with a Khan. Village are going to be coming out as well. So it looks like both players are potentially, it's almost like we've got that meme, you know, the meme that where there's the woman and she's in the car and she's looking at the guy in the other direction, and then there's the guy in the car looking at the woman and they're in the other direction, and it's like they're both passing each other as they're forwarding on each other. Kind of like that, but not necessarily, because we've got spears out. And this is massive. The fact that Casper's got this, look, you can see from Beastie's perspective, he has not spotted absolutely anything. This is like, he is walking into empty territory right now. And as a consequence, it means that he's going to get a surprise, motherfucker. He spots the spear. The spear is sitting there, the mosque coming up as well. Beastie probably scratching his head right now and thinking, damn, this guy's good. This guy is good, and indeed this guy is good. That's how we got through, and Scout now coming in, getting off, or trying to get off at least a little bit of a cheeky attack. Not going to have too much luck with it. And over on the other side of the map, there we go. There we go. Got that one. Got that little hotkey a little bit wrong. Double spear coming out at the moment for Beastie. Now, Beastie going for a very safe tower. You can see how far back this one is. He really wants to secure this position. But at the same time, it looks like we're going to have ourselves a little bit of a base race. But not necessarily a base race. Spearman coming in on it. He's got 101.25 movement speed up against the villager with 1.12. He will technically catch up to him, but keep in mind, we've got the Khan here that's going to be following by. The scouts have got that extra damage against the Khan if they do want to turn around, they do want to fight. But there is no way that this outpost is getting up. Not today. I'm not gonna outpost, at least not today. Villager almost going down. Got to be careful as he enters into the stealth forest there. We have got a lot of action, a lot of age 1 action here. The Delhi versus the Mongol, two civilizations that you typically expect to see on a hybrid map, getting picked here in game number 1 on Arabia. Now keep in mind, this series is a best of 7, so we are going to see a lot of civilizations out here today. We're going to see a lot of difference in these openings, in these plans that these players have got. But now you can see the spear mass beginning to build here for Casper. This outpost still standing tall at this point in time, but we're yet to see any more villagers come out. Now it comes out. Look at all these spears coming out, and this is part of the reason why I say we need to nerf Mongols, and that's nerf the whole word capitalized. Earlier, we spoke about Berlin with a capital B, rest of it lowercase. Well, unfortunately, when I'm talking about nerf, I'm talking about like everything is uppercase, it's bolded, it's underlined. I've like written this in an email to the developers. We're meeting about it. We're talking about it on Monday. Developers, we need to nerf Mongols. We need to nerf Mongols. Once again, I'm thinking about like memes, and here's another meme coming at you right now. It's the Friends meme, nerf Mongols, and then it's like, and then it's Joey, and Joey's like, nerf Abbasid, and then Mongol stays the same. So look at this beautiful match that's come out from both of these players. Age 1, we're 4 minutes into this game, but still, we're fighting over this outpost. Villager pull going to happen right now, as it looks like we've got ourselves a bit of a fight on our hands right now as the villagers get pulled barely 5 minutes into this game. And we have got ourselves a very nice early defense that's coming in from Casper. Now, really, Casper needs to be careful. He can't let an outpost get up. If he does get this outpost up, it means that Beastie's going to continue to leapfrog his way forward with these outposts. So he'll be able to put another outpost here, then another outpost here. But then at that point, whoa, you got to watch out there, little Scholar, my friend. Scholar on 58 out of that 90 health. Now he's going to be able to get his friend to heal himself up, but he's only got one of those bad boys out, and you can see just how many spears are getting in on the action at this point in time. The Deli's gone into overdrive. He's actually put the Scholar inside the barracks at this stage. He's gone for efficient production, and he said, you know what, I'll match you. Outpost gets finished. He's going to be putting absolutely everybody inside that outpost. There is an absolute party in there. Got to be careful of the word that I use to describe that. This is a YouTube video, and we are not on any other websites. So, Drongo, you best be careful about fitting 5 men inside a tower that small. But let's take a look back at Beastie's base and see exactly what he's got going on. No more units coming out here. Gur going down right on the gold mine. You can see he's got 4 villagers down here, so he's going to be looking to get up relatively shortly. A lot of villagers out for him. He's on 22 vills at the moment. Didn't lose that villager in the early stages. 22 villagers for Casper. Obviously got that that mosque, which is producing, or which has that Scholar. And now we see that second outpost coming in, and here we start to see the strength of the Mongols. Villagers got to be careful as they get pulled in. Nowhere near aging up for Casper. Now, this is part of the reason why, in my opinion, the Mongols need to be nerfed, because the Mongols have got so many free resources. Look at this. When we talk about the, or look at these numbers, 12 spearmen here up against 11 spearmen here. But our Mongol player is already on the way up. Why is he on the way up? Because he's got this bad boy right here. Put him in your chats. He has got the Uvu. He has got the Uvu. And the Uvu is the equivalent of 2.5 villages that he gets from the beginning of the game. So let's remember, how many villages do you start this game with? It used to be 4. The Chinese used to get an extra 2 vills back in the closed beta days. But then they changed it. They made it so every single civilization gets 6 villages that they start with. Well, that is not the case for the Mongols. They get 8.5 villages that they start with because they get to make an Uvu, which is gathering 105 stone a minute. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's fair that our Beastie gets to age up just because he's playing the Mongols, whereas we've got Casper over here who's produced the same amount of spears as him, and subsequently is unable to age up. Not to mention the towers, by the way, not to mention the towers that we've got here. Now going to be falling back towards this outpost. He knows that if Beastie does get up to the next age, and he's yet to scout him out, but he knows that if he does get up and archers come out, this is basically just going to be a good game. So he needs to bust this before he gets to the second age, and that's exactly what he's looking to do. You can see the lot of the spearmen out here. He's got 13. That number gets dwindled down to 12. A lot of spearmen just running here next to it. There's not much that he can do in this position, and this really comes down to one thing and one thing only. The Uvu is absolutely fucking busted. Get this shit out of the first age. Increase its cost. I don't care. But the fact that it sits here and can gather stone up free of charge for the entirety of the game for for just a chump change at the beginning of the game is outrageous. Beastie now putting up Casper putting up a tower of his own, immediately putting his villagers inside it to try and seek a little bit of shelter. And you can see Beastie just with the huge numbers of spearmen that he's got out right now. It's absolutely ludicrous the way that he is able to take control of this game. He's got 2 outposts, 2.5 outposts up. He's got the spearman number advantage. He's up in the second age, and meanwhile, Casper's still yet to gather the resources for his own age too. There's going to be archers coming in very shortly. I'm looking for that archery range. Where is it? It's got it. Well, it's Deerstone's now getting packed up. There's got to be an archery range coming out shortly. I can only suspect that there would be. But now we continue to see the Mongols beginning to work their magic. Going to be winning some of those bounties that have been recently nerfed. But keep in mind, it's not a lot of resources, okay? But yeah. I mean, when it comes to direction for the design of this civilization, I think raid bounty is a really good incentive to promote aggression. I don't think that the Uvu is a very healthy thing, because it always gives the Mongols a number advantage. Always. They are always guaranteed to have a numbers advantage. And now we see Beastie exploiting that incredibly well. Now, keep in mind, Beastie is a very good player. You can see up in the top right-hand corner, he's ranked number 4, going up against Casper. But remember, Casper is no slouch. He's ranked 27. This guy hasn't taken tournaments, but he's gotten through to the final stages of tournaments before. This guy is an absolute beast. And so it's not like he is missing a beat. But speaking of missing a beat, Cassper now going up with 14 villagers. Missing a beat, skipping a beat, I'm not too sure exactly what the best way to say it is, but he is going to get up now to the next age. And it looks like we've got the upgrades coming through for the outpost. Now, keep in mind, he's playing the Delhi Sultanate. He's not playing the Abbasid, which means that if he wants to start training out his battering rams, he's going to actually need to put down a blacksmith, and he's going to slowly have to research that siege engineering. He can't do it like the Abbasid dynasty where they just get to construct it out on the field. So that is something to be considered, or something to be considering. But now you can see through this outpost, or this tower, this early tower, he's now been able to force his opponent off this berry bush. And now he needs to respond to this threat that is imminently here. But I can almost guarantee you exactly what's happening behind this. You guys want to know what my guess is as to what could possibly be happening behind this on the other side of the map, where BSTQT hasn't brought out any archers or any other units for the last 3 minutes? Oh, I wonder what it is. Oh, it's a fast castle that's happening. Of course it is. And this is part of the issue with Mongols. This is part of the reason why they are so strong, is because, number one, preventing your enemy from gathering resources through your incredible pressure in the early game. Number two is that you've got so many free resources in the form of spears or scouts or whatever it is that you want. You can see that right now we've got Cassper, who has got no option but to run down here to the south because he can't access these berries. He can't access these berries. There's literally nothing he can access. He's trying to come up here. He knows that if he does, he's just going to get punished by doing it. And so as a result, it means that Beastie now going to be able to go up to the next age, going to be able to go up to that third age. Look at Cassper. His economy is in tatters. He is sitting in the third world of Age of Empires 4 right now. It's not looking pretty for him. And really, in my mind at this point in the game, the game is 100% over. Where did the game come over? It was over at the picking screen when Beastie was picking Mongols. So essentially, that was pretty much it. And honestly, it still feels a little bit that way. So devs, if you are watching, if you are listening, let's table that meeting for Monday. Let's make sure we talk about how we nerf Mongols and make them a little bit less oppressive in the early game. When people like BSTQT are able to utilize them and exploit them in the way that he does, it's almost impossible to counter, and that's just not fun. Or as we'd say in Australia, that's just not cricket. But I'm to be honest, even though I'm Australian, I'm not really a fan of cricket, so I don't use that saying a lot. But now we can see that Cassper is beginning to build up the archer mass. You can see he's got archers out himself. He's beginning to break through here. Hardened spearmen have come out. You can see that he's working towards this, but behind this, Beastie got absolutely no resources in the bank because he's on the way up to the next age. And keep in mind, he's got 384 stone. When he ages up, he's going to be able to have double production once again. So it means that barracks that's sitting down on his Uber, great. There's 2 units to fight. So it really continues to build and build and build. And I feel like I'm almost ranting at this stage about how strong the Mongols are. But I'll be honest with you, I just, like, there's a giant list of things that the player base has asked for, and at the very top of it was a Mongol nerf. And they literally, like, just ticked off everything on the list, and then they forgot the very first thing on the fucking list. And they're like, oh, I think we should nerf their raid bounties? Like, are you serious, bro? Are you fucking serious? Look at the score difference between these two guys. We're 13 minutes into this game. Casper's played immaculately. He hasn't made a single mistake this game, and he's still down by more than 1,000 score. And now going to be pushing into his opponent's base. He's on the step redoubt, but keep in mind, he's going to have plenty of resources back here. He's going to need maybe 6 men at arms to clean this one out. What kind of upgrades has he got? Doesn't look like he's got any upgrades from the blacksmith. Khan going to be forcing in these villages. I feel like it might be a little bit of an overreaction, but keep in mind, this is an age 3 Khan. It has the same range as a longbow. It has 12 bow damage. It is on a horse. It's on a horse, for damn sakes. And now these men at arms come out, villagers looking to heal up the outpost, and that's it. That's good game right there. There's no two ways about this. Beastie up in the third age, and Cassper down in the second age. I mean, if there's a sentence to describe how this game has gone, you wouldn't even need it. You just need one word, and it would be Mongols. And here we continue to see how beautiful the Mongols are. And so this is just, you know, another perfect reason as to why the Mongols are a balanced civilization. And he's just like, he's killing villagers faster than they can be made. All right, we'll take a look at how Casper's doing. We'll check out his research. So he has already got Sanctity. You might be wondering, okay, well, why hasn't Cassper gone to pick up his sacred sites yet? Well, he's only busted through his opponent's base. remember, up until this point, Beastie had complete line of sight around his opponent's base. He had outposts here on the front line. He had an outpost up over on this position. There was an outpost that was threatening to come up over here. And it meant, as a result, that he was unable to break through. But now, finally, he has broken through. Casper going to be trying his best to bring it out. And going to be looking to capture up those sacred sites. But once again, the Mongol Khan going to be able to run away. And look at this bad boy. Not only does it run away, but it heals while it's running away. It's just hilarious. It's so hilarious. Men-at-Arms now coming out. They've got the +1 range upgrade here. They literally have the same amount of ranged armor as the archers have got damage. If you could do 0 damage, they would do 0 damage. But the archers have got to do, at a bare minimum, 1 damage. You could have 1,000 armor and like do 6 damage and you'd still do 1 damage. But now we see the beauty of the Mongol Khan running around right here. I think we might just witness it in its glory just for a few seconds here, as it does continue firing off into the, into the surrounding areas and heals up while it does it, because, why shouldn't it? It's a Mongol. It's a Mongol Khan. And now up towards this position. I mean, you can set and forget this. Casper's going to be, he's going to be running around with these forever. He's never going to be able to kill those. Men-at-Arms coming in as well. And behind this, so where does Beastie go from here? Beastie goes into improved siege engineering, which he's already got. So you can see there's no siege engineering here. He needs to go into improved siege engineering and begins to move forward. Just take a handful of his men-at-arms and begin working on a mangonel on the front line. And that mangonel he's just going to use to slowly siege down the enemy base. Maybe get a ram out as well. But keep in mind, his enemy is in Age 2. And he is in Age 3. He doesn't have access to Springalds, so mangonels quite literally kill everything. And now we see the mangonels coming out for Beastie here underneath the town center, going for 2 of them already. Nice and safe, keep them alive here, and then probably just going to walk them across the map. Now keep in mind, Beastie doesn't have access to walls, but he does have access to outposts, so if he wants to get a bit of line of sight up here, that'll help him out immensely. And now we can actually see Beastie beginning to use the prayer tent in a very smart way. So he moves the prayer tent with the relic inside it to the relics themselves. And you can see right here, Beastie being very, very cheeky, very smart with his shaman. The shaman going to be coming around, and you can see that Casper actually does spot it out. He's going to try and actually get it before his enemy comes through. If he picks this up and goes for the convert, it's not going to get off. We'll watch and we'll wait. We'll see. I don't think it would have gotten off anyway. So he does manage to take it down. Sacred sites being neutralized, one towards the north. This one down towards the south was never touched, but the one towards the north was. This one is being neutralized currently. And the Khan has now regrouped with the army of his opponent, or the army of the Mongols, rather. Towards the back, it looks like the military production buildings are moving over towards the Uvu. Now, one thing to note is that you can see how big those squares are on the minimap. That's how big the squares used to be for all of the buildings. But then they reduced it, but they forgot the Mongol buildings. And so you can still see how big they are on the minimap. So that's how big things used to be. Yeah, like they forgot a lot of things. Like one of the other things that they forgot is that the prayer tent is actually, the name gets changed to the monastery. If you watch this, he's going to pick up the relic. He'll put it inside. When the prayer tent converts back to a race car, it is going to become a monastery. So it'll go from a prayer tent to a monastery and then back. But Casper now reaching the 3rd age. You can see that the deer stones are beginning to push up as well. We've got the mangonels that are here. Now, Casper will probably know that there are mangonels on the way. He's going to need to be dropping down a siege workshop. You can see he's gone for the compound of the defender. He's on 51 villagers. Compare that over to Beastie, who's sitting on 46. So he does have a slight villager advantage at this point, but a difficult position for him to be able to come out ahead on. The main concern he's going to have are those mangonels and being able to react to those mangonels. All of his units get cleaned up around the backside. The bottom sacred site was attempted to be taken. A random spearman just going to be doing its best to try and distract his opponent. Mangonels now revealing themselves and firing down on that lumber camp. And Beastie looking in an incredible position. The only way I think he could really lose at this point is if a whole bunch of villagers just sort of came up from this position and managed to take out the mangonels. But these guys are so damn strong, I don't think it would matter. But now going to be dropping down a 3rd mangonel. He has managed to actually get +2 coming through for the ranged armor as well. And you can see right there, the prayer tent is now coming through right outside his opponent's base and beginning to pick up those relics. And such a smart move. I mean, Beastie is playing this perfectly. I can't fault him. When it comes to both of these players, they have both played it perfectly. At the end of the day, it just comes down to the Mongols being exploited in a much smarter, not a much smarter way, but a much more effective way. I mean, to be honest, watching Casper, I don't think he made a single mistake. He opened with barracks, he went into a mosque, he was getting all of his upgrades, he played it perfectly. It just comes down to the Mongols having more resources. It comes down to the Mongols having the Uvu, and that's really what sets them apart. So I'm advocating today, through this game, let's move the Uvu to age 2, or let's increase the cost from 150 resources up to 200, at least force them to delay that a little bit, because at the moment, we make it at the beginning of the game, and we've got an extra 2.5 villages from the get-go. But speaking of 2.5 villages, it looks like these 2.5 villages are going to have to forget about the TV series and rather join towards the Stealth Forest as he gets cleaned up towards the middle. We've got ourselves a little bit of a villager massacre that is about to unfold. We've got the deer stones that have been, that are down here as well, and it looks like Cassper has surrendered. He is tapped out. He said, the Mongols are too damn strong, and Beastie, you are too damn handsome. I am going to permit you to finish this game, and that is it. The first game of this series going over towards Beastie QT. Make sure you check out the second game. It'll be the game that's directly uploaded after this one on the channel. Make sure you go watch it. Make sure you go say good day. But most importantly, make sure you have a look at this village account right here. And the military account. I mean, the military account tells it all. It's just, you know, it sucks. Anyway, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.